ProSim. My name is Callum and welcome to the FSElite Theater. If you've joined us for other seminars, hello again. If you're brand new, then welcome to the stage. Just a few very quick housekeeping and safety reminders. If you haven't already been in here, we do have exits at the top of the stairs, and we also have 2 exits down at the bottom as well. We're going to take you through a presentation and then we'll have a bit of time as well for a Q&A, so please do save any questions until the end. But please, in the meantime, please put your hands together from Hannah from ProSim.
Thank you everyone. Thank you, Colin, for the introduction, and thank you everyone for being here, for attending the event, but also listening to our update here. Thank you also for Niels and his team for taking over this organization and doing a really good job. What I always like to know is how many of you are already ProSim users? Okay, that's great. I would say almost half of you guys, so thank you for that, and still a lot to win. It's great seeing you all again. It's new people, new faces, but also people that we have known for over 10 years, and it feels like coming home, basically. If you have any questions, as Colin said, please keep them for after the presentation. Come to our booth later, come to our booth tomorrow, or meet us tonight in the bar of the Van der Valk Hotel. What you're looking at is a new brand called HomeSim. I've spoken to a number of you guys already here on the exhibition floor, answered many questions already, but glad to give you the complete story. Yes, here we go. Why HomeSim? Let me start by giving you a little overview of the history of ProSim. It was in 26 that I joined an IT company in Delft. And there was a brilliant guy working there too. Like midday, he would always walk up to us and say, yeah, my work's done. I may want to go home. Is that okay? I would ask him, what are you going to do at home? And why would you do that? And he would say, I'm working on my airplane. I said, airplane, you silly boy, get back to work. But then a few years later, it was around 2009, he said, now you have to come and look at what I do. So I went to his place. I got to see a simulator. To be honest, I never had seen an airplane cockpit. So that was all new for me. It looked kind of outdated, to be honest. But he said, this is what I make. I make the software that is sitting in here. I'm sort of fed up with what I now do. And this is where I make something that people truly appreciate. He said, you have to help me make a business out of it. I promise you, you never need to worry about technology as long as I don't need to worry about running a business, talking to the tax department, those kind of things. So that is how we started. First with the 737 only, which we started licensing in 2012. We were just still a small team, just with the 3 of us, or later 4. Then in 2017, we added the A320. And these were in times where we were just focusing on home cockpit building. We weren't really looking farther. I didn't realize that there was a different market. But then interest started to show from commercial shops where people can take entertainment flights, fly an hour for $100, get the pilot experience. Later on, we were also seeing more and more at interest actually from the training market, from the professionals. But we were progressing. We were releasing ProSim A320. That was also the year where we did our first certified simulator by the authorities. And later on in 2020, we released the B388M, which is a MAX representative. That was ProSim until then. If we look at the company today, we have grown quite a bit. We're 24 people now. We primarily focus on pilot training on the professional industry. We still have the same aircraft types, so the 737NG, B38M, A320ceo and neo. We deliver that software for the fixed-base training devices. We have made a virtual instructor, a student pilot which is down in a cockpit with augmented reality goggles on, and on the side get instructions about the next procedures to follow. We track that information, we do eye tracking. We have AI processing that information and then come up with a sort of dynamic syllabus for the pilot students. We have FMS trainers. We have software for maintenance personnel to train. There's more I wanted to say about that. Yeah, so the focus has been professional. We also realized that we, while going into professional, kind of neglected, not on purpose, the home cockpit builders. We have been coming here. Actually, it's an anniversary we now have. We have been coming here for over 10 years, every year since 2012. But it was hard for us to keep contact with both groups from one brand name. Whenever we would send out a newsletter, it was either irrelevant for the home users or it was irrelevant for the professionals. If we would think of nice functionality that would be nice for the home users, like an EFB, then it would not be relevant for the professionals. So it would be sort of sitting in the way there. And that is why we have decided to introduce HomeSim. So HomeSim is ProSim's renewed focus on home cockpit builders. The most obvious thing that we changed is the website. Yesterday, we have taken down the old website, prosimar.com, which would focus on both customers groups. In return, we now have homesim.arrow, which only focuses on the home users, the non-commercial licenses for private home use. And in addition, we have another website for the professionals under prosim.arrow. So what is HomeSim? As said, it is the same company, different brand name. It is also the same people. The team is growing. Our development capacity and support capacity is expanding. And we have a renewed focus on home cockpit building. So what we want to do different is put more focus on the community. We will be more active in our own forum. We have Jeroen joining our team, who will be managing social media more actively. We want to focus more on user projects, people that have been building their cockpit for 5 or 10 years and would like to speak about it. Talk to Jeroen. He does an interview, either remote or he will visit you. He's flying all around Europe and can come visit you and describe your case. So ProSim software, HomeSim will deliver a version of the ProSim software that is tailored for home use. It is still the same ProSim software. We will also be calling it ProSim software, but over the next couple of months something will change. And that is for new licensees only. The existing customers will keep exactly the same functionality as they have now. For new licensees, at some point we will be introducing a change, removing some functionality that is really directed for training. And that, for instance, is lowering the number of malfunctions that is present in the software. What will be possible, we still have to come up with a final scope and pricing for that, but we will be offering to home users, or actually to every user, to upgrade their malfunctions from one tier to the next. So for home users, that would be upgrading from the non-commercial malfunction set to the commercial malfunction set. And of course, also the home users keep benefiting from a lot of the developments that we do for professional use. Other updates that I wanted to share with you. Up until now, we have delivered the software with 1 year of free updates, and after the first year, we were charging €100 per year to continue receiving updates. We have changed the update subscription into a support subscription. The support subscription contains software updates, but also a support SLA. That means that any user would receive 2 hours of our support free of charge. After the 2 hours, we will be charging for support. Only in cases, though, where the issue that the user is experiencing is attributable to a ProSim mistake. So for any problems that we cause, we don't charge. If we need to help you longer time setting up your device, etc., then we would charge, but only with prior consent. Still about support though, In the past, we had a little bit of a bad name in that regard. We were struggling with too many tickets. At some point, I think we had 300 or 400 open in our system. It was just difficult to keep up with it. At the moment, we have 3 people dealing with support. The support portal is working very well. We're down to around about 25 open tickets per product. If you need our support, please go to our support portal. The forum, of course, will also get some more attention. We will be a bit more active there. We will do a fresh new look, update the logo, but it will remain a community forum, so for people to interact with each other and to ask other users for their support. If that doesn't work, if you need us to jump in, then please go to our support portal and raise a ticket there. What will also change is the cycle of the updates. What we have been aiming for up until now is to bring out a product release for each of the aircraft types every 4 weeks. That seemed like a good idea, and for a while we kept up with that, but at the moment it has turned out to be not such a great idea, because it made us rush, it made us put out updates that were not tested well enough. So from a quality assurance perspective, we are changing from 4 weeks to 8-week update cycles. Then 11.055, does anybody know what that means? That's good. Actually, it is an error by our activation server. When you use ProSim once in a while, your software needs to talk to our servers in order to remain active. The current system is causing a bit of problems to us, and one of the very well-known errors there is 11.055, which is also very hard to resolve. It is a networking problem on our side. I'm glad we can tell you that we are changing our activation server, getting it all more under our own control, and then those kind of problems should be just in the past. Also a big improvement. Up until now, we have hosted and managed our webshop ourselves. What we are now doing is transitioning it to a merchant of record, which basically means it's an external company just acting as a reseller. They do what they're good at, we do what we're good at. Also in the past years, we have been having some difficulties with the billing of recurring support subscriptions. People got not billed at all. People got billed 3 times. I want to apologize for those issues. At the moment, we have put our FMS trainer subscription licenses in this new web shop. Everything seems to work fine. And in the next couple of weeks, we will be merging also all non-commercial licenses and support subscriptions to this new system. Pricing, always very important, hot topic, but I'm glad to tell you that for the 5th year in a row, we're not changing the pricing of the user licenses. A home user license remains at 1,500 euros ex VAT. On the support side, we are making a little change. The support subscription goes from 100 per year to 120 per year, so that should be quite overseeable. Recent software developments. After this talk, I will be answering your questions. If you have any in-depth questions about functionality, then I will appoint one of my colleagues here who can tell you a little bit more about that. We have added ATIS, D-ATIS and voice ATIS. We have released a new version of the ProSim audio module. The previous module was sort of limited. If you had multi-channel audio in your simulator, then you needed to run multiple instances of ProSim audio. This new version just makes everything easier. Multiple channels on one system, management of mono and stereo, etc. In that new ProSim audio, we have also added new sounds. That has been a past complaint from many of you. New sounds cockpit environment. We have a config file manager that also resolves some problems. Up until now, the config files per module were saved within that module location, and they, of course, would sometimes get corrupted. Now it is possible to make backups of your config file. It's saved in a different directory, so if you mess with ProSim, you will not lose your config files. You can make a backup and then start experimenting with your configuration and just roll back to your original config. What also sometimes happens, because we're working with Windows computers with a lot of USB assignments, is that Windows would forget or drop the USB COM port assignments. Well, with this new functionality, it is easy to map your current configurations to the new COM ports without having to go through all kinds of reconfiguration. The visual models for all aircraft types, we keep improving them. That is really a constant, almost full-time job for the 4 aircraft types for both prepared and MSFS. So we keep improving them and providing liveries with them. For the 737, some highlights are improved yaw damper and the overhauled electric and hydraulic systems. On the A320 side, Marty did a big job with the whole fly-by-wire rewrite. And we have released compatibility for P3D V6. We have created drivers for the new FDS Ethernet components for the CP Flight A320, which is new, and also new for the upcoming Scalarki 737 NG and MAX components. Looking into the future, something asked for a lot, we will be adding the EFB to our products. The consumer version will be a bit nicer than there with Candy functionality than the professional version will be. For the 737, we plan to rework the engine model and the autopilot systems. When it becomes available, and sometimes that's a little bit difficult to predict, it's also difficult to predict how much work it is going to be, but we are compatible with 2020 and we aim to also do that for 24. Drivers, we will create native support for the Cockpit for You throttles, and we will create support for the Simon overhead panel and TQ. And of course, as we always do, we continuously keep updating the systems of all the aircraft types that we support. That was rather fast. What I wanted to tell you is that we're also going to be present at the FS Expo, so we want to keep giving more attention to the home users. I guess that was about it from my side. Any questions from the audience? Either everything's clear or maybe not. Yes, please, here in front. Where is our company located? That's a good one. I forgot to address that. So our head office is in Delft, here in the Netherlands. We have 24 people. They're spread out across the globe. We have an office in Costa Rica, one in Portugal, and one in Nanjing in China. But feel free to come see us in Delft. Give us a ring in advance, but everyone's always welcome. Thank you. Any other questions, people? Yes, please go ahead.
Regardless of the cost index which is put in, or if you select a is that an issue you have been
Yeah. Okay, thank you for that question. It is about performance, not so much system performance, but aircraft performance, a little bit beyond my own knowledge. Also a bit of a deep question. I don't know if anyone from my team can quickly address that question. And otherwise, I would ask you to...
Right now, you can go to the booth. Yeah, you can. Yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah, so as Humberto says, please head to the booth. There we have the smarter than me people that can hopefully resolve your problem. Yes, please, go ahead.
ProSim product and the professional product. And as an idea, would it be possible to get some modules in between? Probably more modules for failure scenarios or technical things. You know, the one thing is the controlled and controlled throttle.
Yeah. So let me wrap that up. If I understand you correct, you would like to know more about the difference between the home user software and the professional software, about modules that can bridge that, or?
If someone needs some modules,
Mm-hmm.
probably it is kind of how you can
Okay. If we can offer modules now to home users that we make available now to the professional users, I believe actually, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I believe that our product for home users is pretty complete at the moment. The beautiful thing about home users is that they're very passionate, right, about their build, and maybe even more into details than some professionals are, because for them it's just a job and for you it's a passion. In that way, it's also nicer sometimes, in a certain sense, to be here and to deal with home users rather than talk to professionals. They're also nice people, but they're happy when the sim does the job for their business, and they're not so passionate or thankful as we see here. If we look at the functionality that will be different between the license types, it is the number of malfunctions. And to be honest, I don't think home users use 300 malfunctions on a regular basis. But also, for instance, we have software for compliance with the regulatory requirements, like we call it a QTG. It is an objective assessment of the aerodynamic behavior. It's not something that you want at home. You don't need that for anything. It doesn't add anything to your joy. If you spoke about, I think, a motorized EQ, we have support for that. We have support for control loading also for home users. So if there's anything that you're missing, please come talk to us. But at the moment, we have no, other than the tier upgrade for the malfunctions, at the moment, we have no plans to offer any additional packages as upsells, but I'm always open for ideas in that regard. Yes, please. The approximate lead time for integration of the native drivers for the cockpit view throttles. I'm looking at my colleague Humberto right in front of me. What is your estimate, please?
Simple. But the main problem is to work the current POCUS driver.
Yeah, can you repeat that perhaps over the mic?
Yeah, the current problem is related with the POCUS driver. So we need to rework the POCUS driver, and after that it should be very simple. Yeah, it's let's say I hope before the end of the year, 2024. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that question.
Take this to be the final question for us for today.
Okay. Yes, please go ahead.
What do you mean with the 77 improved yaw damper overall electric and hydraulic system? So see I now the yaw damper now moving, or shouldn't see this?
Thank you for the question, and Colin, can I ask you to hand over that mic again to Humberto here?
Of course.
The yaw damper previously basically was not working anything, so it's not doing anything, and right now it is. So the logic is correct. So we can see actually the indicator will move now, and we have the dampening working. Yeah, and the electrical was completely overhauled. So new elements, the tie breakers were now implemented as elements for the professionals. So we added additional failures for the breakers. Same for hydraulics. Hydraulics were static system. Now it's dynamic, so we can see the quantity changing if you lower the gear, upper the gear. Before it was static, so the quantity was not changing in in the tanks. Now we can see the quantity changing. So yeah, these kind of improvements.
Yeah, great.
Thank you, Humberto. That was the last question. The last question here on stage. Please come and see us, have fun with us, hang with us. See us at the FS Expo and contact us anytime. Thank you very much.